Alright, I'm seeing my movie bia kwaba na me for Mega TV and platform we eso. Yankopon ehiro bibia ene abrebia mo support am de maye. Nyame ni no kwaredi me kase maninji ya na meboa isanse adwuma yeye no eso abamfaso. Yewra His Excellency John Mahama finally ene oka Ghana ono eneye omompanyi a sebi yaswoni in and the historic female vice president a Ghana yetimi aseti atu honum abusia enye wonwa say coming days na say coming years no oba betimi edi oman we anim and so oba betimi edi oman we anim it depends on John Mahama na administration year washasi. So the administration of John Mahama is in motion now. What you say you setting the ball rolling. You can set action. You see action now. I shall say eguswa eye juma. Enti president to say na nado dan Akuffo Addo. We ne juma ene onne ne yira omoda omobeda kama omaso mbadwu omo sense Ghana omaso mbadwu omo but eyanju omo bebre sa because the ministers no any appointees in Krono boy, the oral team of John Mahama operation recover all the loot, they are come to work and they will make sure say those people and they will be busy at court. Captain Kwajo Smart and in a pump for Atenase as usual said the name no na. In fact, Jonathan Asante Ochre Edin Sembi Atubia or captain the show so na uti hawa ye urano twin nsem na obiebie nsem ni na urano ye political science analyst na nsem awaka no utimu say ni na concern it's concern about I don't know many aje kwam hu de misi aka no ni na about the swearing in of John Mahama I ne a course for Black Star Square. Yanko na yinkuti nsem no yinhwe video ni ebi how urano esi eputu na analysis esi fine na ekoba medina kan na ebeto aso yem platform we eso yemfa credit na ema onue TV omo ena omo boaya yenso meeting ensa e kan say adwumadie we ebi
Edikan and I'm say with the issue of Transitional Act 2012 Professor Mills Emma editu dwano na kire say enyadia ne bisa na ebe na haphazardly bio until na wohwemu with this kind of event you are going to invite dignitaries even so how they will show their readiness to attend the Anamo Council Burkina Faso military leader, for example, for a military leader to leave the comfort of his space to attend a program such as this, it's very instructive. Instructive, and they say one. Also, military for some would take you over. They hardly travel because so utie omanpeninsu so nensem kanu not just say there is that need for that regional reintegration, and regional integration is very, very important in a sense. Say, we show Mampeni Akuffo Addo Enchebia with free Akonyaswa. He virtually snitched on Guinea and snitched on Burkina Faso to the rest of the world, and that was something un-African. Essence say he just wanted some favors one way or the other, and that in itself was very bad. Yes, and also so the orderliness. The way it was colorfully done, I mean, it's simply unprecedented. To have such a number of international dignitaries, somebody attending such a program, look, it means that the Akuffo are very expectant of President Mahama. And you know, he has a very long work and way to go. The challenge, you know, I have to say, he who much is given, much is expected. And you know, Sa akonya wonya bio it often happens to say Nyankopon emma second chance e bia na wewu but to have a second chance while you are alive you are blessed. It doesn't come simple, it doesn't come easily. So I think say one so wo free akonya so ka bibi posterity will be the better judge.
What do you copy?
Na men cha de man posterity ajaje ye no he still got himself alive. And posterity has judged him fairly. They have given him a second chance. President Mahama. So, I'll say about state protocol abaso. Transitional team on the side of Mr. Mahama and Omososo, then also a bomb abaso. Because this organization is very, very serious. It had to be done properly. Now, what is the essence of doing this? To show, say, we are moving from an old government to a new one. And of course, you have to gain that international and domestic acceptability. This is also to indicate, say, President Bako Nabai Abewiye, President Fufronso Nabai Eba. So, as you said, this is the 6th president in the 4th Republic. 7th January, which has become a holiday now, a very, very important constitutional day for that matter. Other than that, no, I don't say it's a holiday, no, I think it should stay. It's very important. 4th August today should be deleted and expunged from our statute. Then we should also go back to the 1st July, Republic Day. Very, very important. So that those who tried rewriting history, no, they will have a rethink the next time they get the opportunity. Now, on the final issue here, no, then can say, Mr. Mahama, what's in him? And one thing that is equally colorful, and I say, he's been able to give us the first female vice president. Yeah. And this goes a long way to reinforce the view of affirmative action now. Very, very important. Yes, And with that, they have opened the door, you see, for women to also rise to the top. Who knows if she's able to exhibit a quality leadership at this point in time? Obviously, that will pave the way for women. What I say, and we have a balance. The number 1 is male, number 2 is female, number 3 is male, number 4 is a female. So we have what? A balance way. Number 4, Chief Justice Tokono.
Number 3,
the Speaker.
On the number 3, attack higher power. Yeah, number 3 was opposition.
Yes, only number. And somebody also asked me about horses now. If you go back to ancient Greece and Rome, in ancient Greece, near from the knights. In Rome, near from the celeres, that is Latin for horse masters. Now, woman and a bo or henno buy. So, in a modern way, no, say, I'm fan say, man, penny air process it through here. They will come, some will be ahead of him, some will be behind him, and others sideways. And that was the same way in Penufort, and they had a certain number. They fought according to a certain formation. Okay. So that in itself was transmitted to Britain. Was transmitted to Britain because the superpower movement now, after we do Britain and Cyber America, this particular practice was also then to say the Queen. The Queen way process where you see the celeres or the knights coming after the chariot. Yeah. They go before the chariot. It is very, very symbolic. And then we also know our traditional perspective from the northern region, for example. And I say it will be a bomb by. I mean, it's very and don't forget, for example, say in the period of Jesus Christ, which is we are told, he had to sit he traveled on a donkey to Jerusalem. So the point ought to be made to say, in totality, this program has been very colorfully done, from the beginning to the end. I mean, the organization is perfect. The speeches were spot on. Utie Tinubu's speech here, Utimu said, there is the need for that regional integration, and that Africans, we must write our own history and our own stories. We shouldn't allow others to do those things on our behalf so that they write things for us. We should be able to write our own history. And so, to have this 32 years of our democracy right? Unchallenged, I mean, there is nothing that has gone against this democracy. We have really done well as a nation. And I think that Mr. Mahama is a very lucky person.
What was his speech now, I want to say? I mean, the things he said right from the beginning to the end.
Yeah. Okay. Speech, dear. From the beginning, it says the beginning, which is 1992, was a reset.
Okay.
Because we were transitioning from military to democracy. So that was the reset. Now, he took the opportunity to say the sacrifices are always and he recount the different encounters on Akuffo from the period of Parliament, contesting each other, as presidential candidate and so on and so forth. Now, he also pats the back of Dr. Bawumia for his early concession. Say that is a mark of a sportsman. Then he talks about this, the what's it called, the global geopolitics, the dynamics of it, and all this feed into the idea of BRICS. BRICS has come to stay, and that we need to understand. Say, he virtually put a philosophical question there, stoking a particular debate. He said, we must not only be looking at the Bretton Woods, but BRICS, and also we must avert our minds to the BRICS. And I think that in itself, Obama Bretton Woods, for any other, say, look, we may have to do a little more for these economies. And yes, then some of these new blocks, able to take over from them. And then once you are not able to give this economic way, then these kinds of countries, they will shift. Some of these countries have been shifting towards the direction of China because of the way. Then he talks about the fact that we should be prepared for any eventuality in relation to any pandemic. And it's not a matter of if, it is a matter of when. Into no person or didn't make sure say ama adiano and to ye answer. It doesn't become reactionary. So Ebola before they were able to set up a center over here. People misconstrued that to me, say, Ebola, but it was a matter of preparedness. What I say, a leader must have that, proactive way. Now, he talks about the 2024 elections and appreciate the overwhelming mandate the electorate gave him. He doesn't want to take that in for granted. And he even quotes, Ronald Reagan by effect to say, look, to me no, eshenipano, amutu, abanam ema ensim, enya wa, yadi to me no asha wansa. Because we should suddenly see how the MPP apparatchiks were now getting down from their high horses, knowing very well, say, hey, see, to me no, so they were ready to do all manner of things as a way of getting their way with it in terms of the elections.
But Doc, President Kasano or outline about 4 key things he was going to do. Okay.
These are some of the preliminaries. Then he assures the electorate to say you will not take their vote for granted.
Yeah.
He will ensure say you do good by them. Then he advises us against pessimism. Yeah, when Akuffo Omarion say, Bibia knew until they are resigned to their fate. Then he talks about transparency. Or no, why not even say, obey the books of the nation to the unions, because unions, and Dr. Bawumia once said that when the fundamentals of the economy are weaker, the exchange rate will expose you. And I told Dr. Bawumia said, Dabi, when the fundamentals of the economy are weaker, the labor front will expose you.
Oh, but it is true then, and it is true
now. The labor front, you do know why they will expose you. They will be going on strikes. So when you see consistent strikes here, strike there, then it means that policy is not going down well with the people. Now, then he outlines the 4 areas now. Economic restoration and stabilization. At this point in time, if he's not able to do that, then it means that the cedi to the dollar no you saying both near money, and that is something that as a nation we must fight against. Improvement of the business environment. Now we are here, Hunusania. Is it Lenovo? I find it's a Glover. Is it Glovo? Glovo. Big. I mean, your woman are too big.
Companies, yeah.
Your woman is not a big one. This is a big way. So these are. It means it's a business environment, and we pay, and that's the more reason why these people have to relocate. And for me, for him to say, we are going to have improvement of the business environment, it is good. I mean, issues like collapsing the banks. Now, these are some of the micro issues. Collapsing the banks. Obviously, you will create animosity in terms of the business environment. And if you do investigation and you find out, say, there's that need for restoration. And those who did that on a matter of vendetta, they must equally pay for it. Then you have the third point, governance and constitutional reforms. Constitutional reform, say, say, but to abide the MMDCs. And I say, I listened to an expert in local government, and it makes a lot of sense why it is not going to be that simplistic for us to vote for these MMDCs. Yes, he outlines, I think it was TV3 or so. I listened to them, and it struck me, say, probably we need to take care of certain administrative bottlenecks before a bit into something of that sort. The final one he talks about is accountability, and fight against corruption. I'm say corruption there, anti-corruption senior man agent nankasa watene seni faso enka no na me kai book wa obie ewo adom budget obie no na chese asamaba and sika we afa okuta evidence no so entino you could see say it is something I said Dr. Baumia, can you give us accountability on PDS if you win the elections? Should Ghanaians vote for you? Can you give us accountability about SML? BOST? Name them. So, in the area of accountability, Ghanaians felt there was a need to rather vote for Mr. Mahama if indeed we needed that kind of accountability. Fight against corruption, he said 3 years in a row. The outgone, government, 3 years in a row, a more percentage was 43%. They never went beyond the 43% was the lowest Mr. Mahama had in 2016. And even Crown at that time, you're accusing of corruption. And that was his lowest. He had as high as even 47 some years earlier. So the fight against corruption, the former president did not do well. Did not do well at all. Now, I've set up OSP. I have resourced beyond the measure the Yokos, the Shraj, and all those things. But I mean, that has not really sent us to where we needed to go. Now he talks about the reset of our state institutions, and the entire country ought to be on a reset, because, to be frank with you, the way and manner Mr. Akuffo and his actions in virtually bastardized state institutions. Virtually, I mean, for example, buffer stock. How do you make Nanabi the head there? I don't understand.
Or a lawyer?
It doesn't matter. The role that he's playing in the party, right, for me, compromises the neutrality and the competency of Weno. Where, for example, this rice here, contaminated issue here, he went out there defending and said, BB science. Another way, let's say GES, you have people who are spokespersons, who are PRs, or may grow through the system. How then do you go and put a communication member, national communication member of the NPP, as the PR of that ministry. These are up into say union for no cost strike. That's what more come masama. Is he going to communicate professionally as the PR of the GS, or is going to look into the lens of way to do so? So these are some of the things, sir. Well, he also assures us his confidence in the vice president, and I think that is a good call. Professor Nanejino Pokwajiman, she's really done well. She has been very historical. The first female vice president in a public university. She is probably the first woman to have all her children having PhDs. She herself, she has about 2 or 3 PhDs. Yes, and then she becomes the first female, vice president in the Fourth Republic. Now, finally, before I go to the 24-hour,
yeah, sure.
So, Osha,
microphone.
He talks about, say, he touts the importance of the first female vice president, and then he says very instructively, leadership is by the legacy you leave. Leadership is by the legacy that you leave. And say I'm penning for, I'm say, Ewieyano na hwe. Ewieyano na hwe enya asase. And the great poet by name Sophocles, as I always refer, I say, call no man happy until the day that he enters his grave in peace. When do you know you have achieved your destiny? So, Ashasiano Oshaye Senya Akuffo before the 2016 elections, and look at the way and manner NPP has lost this election. Now, he makes a clarion call to the youth that he wants to ensure, say, this 24-hour economy will see the light of day, and his main aim is to create jobs. And this job creation, there wouldn't be any discrimination. And that idea will castle focus on the 24, which is very instructive. Agriculture and agribusiness. So it means that he's talking about productivity, area of productivity. Look, we have the highest food inflation, the third or so in the sub-region. Meanwhile, we have vast lands. We have implemented planting for food and jobs, phase 1, phase 2, and we spent billions of cedis. How then does it happen? Say, Bayira Baku, you turn 40 cedis.
Hey, I said, I know, baby, out there for.
Sir?
Hey, Doc, I'm so tall by that chair.
60.
Aha.
My goodness. Na what can you know my? Na mijina buduata hono onion market no my hono. Na say me to onion na. And the prices they are quoting. General enam mayo. Asa watu ntos watu
sa open wo so a
open wo so a ntia na me bisa mo say ntino ehia no me de no mo survive. How are they feeding? How are they faring? But one thing I noticed under President Akuffo they said, look, one kro ye adwuma aboso so etu omokado. They were asking for assistance in the mid of the month. And it was regular and consistent. So it tells you, say, if you want to have this 24-hour economy, which should not be a matter of service, but a matter of productivity, then I think, say, he's really going to ensure that this economy works again.
Now, it's our time now. Maybe a name of person continue. I mean, person will be some questions. Maybe now, I'm a conversation now at 10 because when we say a lot of engagements, but we'll share the speech now. Tinubu kan ye na as a person reconcile with countries na o ma ye cool no because I say na the focus na wo honso kakra ba do ntimi nsinipi was it a night they can say none of Kwanso, I don't know. Maybe or they fan.
Well, as chair of ECOWAS, for example, no, he has that mandate. So, and it is better that reconciliatory way, you know, gesture, in as much as Dumbuya, Mumu Guinea, is it Abdullah something? Burkina, no, more or less, it's like there is a suspension of rule of law. So, whichever way you look at it, there is a need to something restore. Because I would say they have to bear in mind, say, near what is the kind of no, and to the south of Kwambiso, Ayakunu, remember, say, there are soldiers also who can easily turn against you. Shekwaya, Guinea President Olusi Neyi, the very guy, Dumbuya, or not funny free France. So he is the inner way ankasa of the president, and he turned against him. So one can say somebody can also turn against you. But if you have the mandate of the people, then it means that you have that constitutional mandate to run and lead your people till the time is due. So I think you said the speech was spot on. Just it sounded like he was sleeping or sleepy. He was tired. That's how he's been speaking. Finally, on this 24-hour, he made a call, a clear call on the business community to join the 24-hour way.
It's necessary.
Yes, very necessary. Though one can say by force, but one can say, who say the light is shining there, you will join. You will join because if at the end of the day, some people are given the opportunity, and you see, say, on production air cost, certain incentive to say, time now will be producing a midnight, they will make sure you have energy to do so. And you'll be able to employ a few more so that you'll be running, you know, concurrently and 24-hour way. That 24-hour way, you know, I have proposed a street light authority.
Street light authority.
Yes. This is not business as usual. This will create a lot of jobs. Yeah, I will say to me a year plan, and that plan is in the next 4 years we shouldn't have billboards, wooden billboards. In the next 4 years, we shouldn't be having wooden billboards. A book paper. We should go electronic.
Okay.
And that should be under the street lighting authority. Street light is a can be on which you elected.
Sure.
You want me to tell me say Ghana ni Ben who say kwan point nyane say light e was so on so is safe.
Sure.
Thank you, Ura. Bansa, remember you, Bansa, hey, Yamini Nukwadi, Burkina Faso president, you know, that military guy, no, hey, Charlie, chairman of fans. Chairman of fans, Papa Ibrahim Tuari, our fans rough. Hey, oh, now do you know why? Urano since say Omo Edi Oji Abino. You know say military rule and a Burkina Faso CCR. Now Urano development or yen wo Burkina no enye adiketwa. Our fans echen na nado dam kwa kufado bebre kwa. Abrante ketwa o ni 30s, onyinya 40 o ni 30s. Na obi dwuma ani sebi. Modern bar or bar, baby, you'll be piano, not the fans, no, it was so. It will be piano, banza, zazu, gagadian, bati, magabu, zanza, zazu, what is an you know, opia, or call inauguration as or call any Jumadi Biasia, and you know, or Monday twice, you know, I am a del rough. Copywriting mean to me born or her and come watch them a massa Ura Ibrahim Tuari, I salute you, sir, our fans. Say, oh, Obetinaswa, ye Jumana Judin, Akuffo ne, well, sebi, and ne, Ubian recognize you. and Akuffo Addo bepie me wo dwumadi na so no ye hu hwe de tia ne say His Excellency the outgoing the former president Yura Addo Akuffo Addo and the vim and the vigor how Akuffo any brave in 2016, how people were eager and people were celebrating you. People were even some of them they died before your inauguration like this because they want to what? They want you to be the president of Ghana. And then one must Akuffo na ensa esifom. And then one must Akuffo na ensa esifom. Yura Akuffo Addo, bow down your head in shame. The most arrogant and disrespectful and wicked president ever in the Fourth Republic. You are the fifth president of Ghana in this Fourth Republic. You are a very wicked man. I must tell you, Mekacho. John Mahama, he is the sixth president of this Fourth Republic. Look at the demeanor and the humbleness, humility. Na odigina hono mekase Akuffo Addo no kasa no tutu nsa. Akuffo Addo 2016 ye so an in na homa so nti obowa saa almost 10 minutes 15 minutes no ye njaye na Nyankopon kasa kire ye. And see the demeanor and hwese de yewura John Mahama, the humble, the humility. Oh ora mse wakusua de ampa. And we know say wabai you have come back for good. Now so wabai wa meye adwuma. Now the beye family odi ni say wonye family and friends odi ne ma se ne wo ani so sa na nkofo e kan but allege memega manhu bi da chesi boache ne mesbel no allege ake me manhu bi da se wabru ni de yi hu ye hu so ne ne ti play mu when so bitim di picture ba kwa ba bonti aka se John Mahama ne mesbel na se chesi boache eti baby no mensa edidi when so bitim ya sa de who can do that it dem dey allege. But almost ye keka no mane nye ho what I say mane nye ho nti owura you are welcome once again. Yeah, and I do about power. I'm telling you, me I am part of them. Sebi ye kasa ya hoodin any the bia ye consistency in our working and atimi edu about power. It remember ye arrogant for ye so. Remember ye sebi kukuti we so Ghana for say come di omo a bra na be fix economy no. Come and reset Ghana, create more jobs. In say sika ho okade bia bobi Akuffo Addo adwemboni nti no na sika no watena so. Ono aso na oka say eti sika so come there. But wo de wabai ontene sika no so obe distribute. You will distribute it to the last person in this country. By what? Creating jobs. By what? Increasing salaries, horizon industrialization, partnering with investors, businessmen. Say you're going to do that as you said in your speech. Enti ora yedawase say wotimi aba na wabetimi aberehie saa. And we are hoping say odi ose ebeyoyo na nkoyese eya kika kwa eno de nkakana for me microphone ye kitami nyandumye me camera yesi manimi enyanko off me platform me ejina so kebe so asie nim aba be gina so 24/7. I'm telling you me na me ka kire nobody fears anybody in this country. Nti de dwuma hye wo sa eden ye na ye mbo abaso na so faji udin ejabusua we ye nsema ekoso me gusua ye update biaba count on us Mega TV yaba na se ye de besom wo na wonso ye bi ati akenkan ma ho ato bedia na Mega so subscribe to your channel na wa like it me na wa share na foforo nyi bi ahwe bombadina ye den fa comment to me nya papa me ma me chi ba for United States of America ma me we nyankopon hira me ma me we oye di papa say maame Kibafo oye di papa say maame Nyankopɔn nye okese United States of America New York maame roye bi ha maame Nyankopɔn hyira wate obi bia hwe negative na I salute you abusia the wasi